Howdy, 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 folks. It's your boy Heffatangs back with another video for you guys. And today I got another key map positions episode. And today we find ourselves on steps. Step A's. Step S. Whatever you want. I don't know. Whatever you want to call this dang map. And this is if you get the south spawn. Now, the position I am going to go into, you do need two things to get into this position. One, turret armor. You need turret armor, preferably with not a lot of weak spots. And two, a little bit of gun depression. And a little bit, okay, maybe three things. A little bit of gun depression, a little bit of speed. The Valor that I'm playing in right here is by no means a slow tank, but it's also by no means a fast tank. And I honestly lollygag it a little bit getting into this location when you could have just easily beelined it straight to the position instead of the route that I took, because honestly I was a little afraid when I saw the entire enemy team almost spotted over here. But it doesn't matter. This is an encounter game mode. I'm not sure if the spawns are different, if the game mode changes on you. It might. But for encounter, this is a fan-diddly-tastic spot. So right here, that's it. This spot right here, I am hold down. You can be hold down right here, and you don't really need a lot of gun depression to work this hilltop. Obviously, you can't come into this spot with like a Russian medium or something like that, but something with at least 8 degrees of gun depression, maybe even less, this will work perfectly for you guys. Now, the Valor is an incredibly good tank for this position because, one, it has pretty much no frontal weak spots on the turret, okay? The cupolas are tiny, and if you're moving and wiggling, then you're going to be a-okay. Now let's talk about what you're supposed to do once you're in this location. Like I said, this whole series, I'm really only giving you guys a beginning location to put your tank in. I cannot predict where your game is going to unfold or where you should go after the fact, but one thing I can predict is where a lot of tanks are going to be at the beginning of the game, and there's two places they can go. The enemies can go to the west, or they can go to the south to you, where I am right now. So you got a 50-50 shot of having a good outcome in this position. You know, some tanks got to come this way, and if they decide to not push you, then you know the spot's a little bit null and void. You just keep pushing up using the hills. But if they do just get stuck in front of you like this, then you're going to have a very, very good outcome. And you're not going to only have a good outcome, you're going to also stop the enemy's advance completely. You'll see what happens when tanks try to push you, and it just doesn't work for them. As long as you have... Now, with every position, you know, take it with a grain of rice. Obviously, not every single game is going to be exactly like the one I'm playing right now. You need to have some certain rules that you should follow before hopping into a location. Don't just, as soon as you see steps and you see this map and you see this spawn, you're like, I'm going straight to this location because Heffatank showed me how to do it and he had a great result, so that means that I'm going to have a great result. No. Okay? You need to make sure that you're doing some things. Now, this is what happens when you try to push. When the enemy tries to push you. Keep working this ridge line. Don't give them the opportunity to come up on you without punishing them. I was milking that M48 Patton as he was coming up to me. And now that they've pushed over, they're pretty much almost dead. And if you look closely, there is a Bat Chat on J8. He is in a very good position to cover you from people who try to YOLO you like those two tanks, or maybe even 3 tanks that just did that. So make sure that if you're in this position that you're not completely alone. You want to have some people to your left, preferably on the J line, somewhere up in J8, up on the hill that can shoot down into the tanks that are going to push you. Other than that, you don't need any help. You're completely hold down right here. All of the fire is going to come from in front of you, and as long as you have some good turret armor and a little bit of luck with RNG, you're going to be pretty much indestructible in this position. Now, I do push up a little bit right here. I'm getting a little antsy at this point. I want more. But, you know, this is on me. But I quickly realize, you know, I need to pretty much back up and get back into my old position. But nonetheless, one other thing that I want to let you guys know that might be helpful in this location is to have a competent light tank driver or vision. because there's one thing that's a little bit hard to do, and that's spot for yourself right here. Now, you can spot for yourself to an extent, but a lot of the shots that I've been getting, I've been able to get because I did have a light tank in my platoon who was lighting up people farther away than what I would be able to spot by myself. So, do you need a light tank? No. Eventually, like all people in this game, like myself, I get antsy and I'm gonna make a push. So eventually they're gonna push into you, and you won't need a spotter. But it definitely is nice to have one. And I don't know if you guys have noticed, as obviously you don't have in the top right corner of my screen the bounce damage, the damage I'm doing my assistants. So it's sort of a mystery of what this number is going to be at the end of this game, but I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this is probably the most block damage I have had in my entire World of Tanks career. I blocked a metric fuck ton of damage this game. That's the only thing I'm gonna say, but that's also what this position does. You know, granted, I guess they really must have been trying to snipe my cupolas, and that's why I have so much damage, but usually when you see a hold down Valor, there's no point in trying to hit it unless you have HE or Hesh. So it was at this point in the game where I was getting tired of playing campy over here, and I just really wanted to push in and push my advantage, and I quickly got checked on it, and I got taken out of this game. I definitely could have had a better outcome in this game if I had stayed alive, but one thing is that I was also fairly confident in my teammates. They were putting in good fire this whole entire game, and they hadn't left me hanging and drying. So I was confident that they were going to be able to pull this game off, even without me being in it. The reason why I think that this right side is a super key map position for taking the right side of the map is just plain and simple. If you do the math, when this game first started, there were about 8 tanks, enemies, that were spotted on this right side of the map, trying to push their advance towards me. There was about 5 active guns in our position over here on the right side that were pushing away 8 people. That ratio is just insane. They had such a big overmatch on us on this side, and they were still not able to push through and break through. So that means that we had a whole bunch of other teammates in this game that were able to go other places and put their guns other places, because we didn't need 8 people to hold these guys back, and that's why this spot is so key. You can hold off a lot of people with a little amount of tanks. So you're gonna see for the first time what kind of damage I've been doing this entire game. And it's by no means a slack of a game, you know? It was a solid game, but what really tickles my pickle is the block damage. Watch out. Here we go. 10,700 damage blocked in that position alone. That is insane. That's enough to kill my tank 10 times over, more or less than 10 times over. But you get the gist. That's a lot of damage. And that's just what you can do in that position, you guys. I can't stress it enough. Get yourself a good turreted tank, go into that position, and have a field day. What you guys see from here on is just going to be what I'm running, equipment-wise, ammo-wise, perk-wise, for my Valor. I do actually end up 2-marking it after this video is going to be posted up, which is pretty much what I was playing the Valor for. I just wanted to get this 2-mark on it because I saw that I was close, and I got it, and honestly, it's a solid tank. But if I had to pick between this or the Chieftain, I would probably choose the Chieftain for that DPM and just a tiny bit gun handling better. You know, yes, the Chieftain's got that big tumor on the top of his turret, but if you do some micromanaging of your maneuvering of your tank, it's a toughie to hit, you know? I think the Chieftain would have performed extremely well in this location also. I hope that you guys find these videos helpful, and I hope that you guys find yourselves frequenting these positions I show you. If you do enjoy what you see, why don't you do me a favor and we'll rack the like and subscribe button. Go down into the comments, let me know if you guys find this videos helpful, let me know if you used these positions before, let me know if there's other positions I should be checking out on the map. Here is just a little glimpse of why I was able to block so much damage in the Valor. Here's its armor layout, and its turret is just god. Its turret is really freaking good. Look at how small those cupolas are, and it gets up to 351 millimeters of armor on the front face of this turret. And that's just not even taking into consideration the angling of it, and it's decently angled also. So, yeah, you're not getting through this turret even with a Jagdpanzer heat gun. Not happening. Okay, now I'm going to say peace. Peace!